In the mountains of the Middle East, there's a battalion of women trained for war, shaped by ideology, and now possibly stepping into one of the most dangerous conflicts in the world. They helped defeat ISIS. Now they may be part of a much bigger war. To understand this story, you need to understand one name. The Women's Protection Units, also known as the YPJ. This is an all-female fighting force made up mostly of Kurdish women and ethnic groups spread across countries like Turkey, Syria, Iraq and Iran. But this is not just a military unit, it's a revolution. These women are trained not only in combat, but also in political philosophy, gender equality and something called genealogy, a feminist ideology developed within Kurdish movements. They are not fighting just enemies, they are fighting a system. The world first noticed them during the rise of ISIS. In 2014, during the Battle of Kobani, Kurdish women fighters stood on the front lines against one of the most feared terrorist organizations in modern history. Among them was Arine Mirkin, who became a symbol of resistance after sacrificing herself in battle. These women were not just symbolic, they were decisive. They helped push ISIS back city by city alongside Kurdish-led forces. And something unexpected happened. ISIS fighters reportedly feared them because being killed by a woman, according to extremist beliefs, carried deep stigma. After ISIS was defeated in Syria in 2019, many people thought the war was over. It wasn't. Today these women are still fighting, but now the battlefield is more complicated. In 2026, Kurdish regions in Syria are under pressure from multiple sides. The Syrian government, Turkish-backed forces, Islamist armed groups. The YPJ itself has said it's still under attack and will continue resisting, calling for more women to join their movement. At the same time, political changes in Syria threaten their autonomy and their role in the future of the country. So now these fighters are no longer just fighting for survival, they are fighting for their place in history. Now here's where the story becomes even more serious. Kurdish fighters are no longer just involved in Syria, they are becoming part of a wider regional conflict involving Iran. What's happening? Kurdish militant groups linked to Iranian Kurds have started armed operations inside Iran. Some groups are preparing for cross-border offensives into Iranian territory. Thousands of Kurdish fighters are reportedly positioned near Iran's borders. These groups include organizations like PJAK, PDKI and other Kurdish opposition factions. And here's the key point, many of these movements share ideology, structure and sometimes fighters with the same networks that include women's units like the YPJ. Yes, but not always in the way people imagine. Women are deeply involved in Kurdish militant movements across the region. For example, leaders like Peyman Vuyan represent the growing role of women in Kurdish armed politics. Kurdish ideology strongly pushes for equal participation of women in war and leadership. In fact, one Kurdish female leader said, "Women and Kurds together are the two forces that could challenge the Iranian system." This shows something important. The women fighters are not just soldiers anymore, they are becoming political and strategic actors in a possible future conflict with Iran. The situation today is extremely unstable because this is no longer just a Kurdish fight. It is becoming part of a much larger geopolitical conflict involving Iran, the United States, Israel, regional militias. Some reports even suggest Kurdish groups may be providing intelligence, preparing to capture territory inside Iran, acting as a ground force in a larger war. At the same time, Iran has launched drone strikes in Kurdish regions. Kurdish civilians and fighters are being caught in the middle. This creates a dangerous reality. Kurdish women fighters could soon be fighting in a completely new war, not just against extremists, but against a powerful nation state. It's important to understand this story is not simple. Some people see these women as freedom fighters, symbols of women's empowerment, heroes who defeated ISIS. But others see the groups they belong to as militias, politically controversial organizations, part of complex regional conflicts. So the truth is, they are both symbols and soldiers, heroes and participants in a complicated war. From the ruins of Kobani to the mountains near Iran, these women have changed what war looks like. They are no longer hidden, they are no longer secondary, they are leading, fighting and shaping the future of an entire region. And now, as a new conflict rises, the world may once again see them on the front lines. If history repeats itself, these women won't just be part of the war, they might define it. So what do you think about this video? If the video is good, please like it and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. And so I say goodbye for today. May you all be blessed.